At this point, I think we could all agree that Black Ops 6 is an AR dominant game. If you're not using an AR, you're going to struggle. So today, I'm gonna be giving you the top 5 best assault rifle class setups to be using in Black Ops 6 right now. If any of these do help you out, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, click that thumbs up button, and turn the notifications on so you don't miss out on my future Black Ops 6 videos. With all that being said, let's get into the first setup. Now we're gonna be starting off with the very first assault rifle, the XM4, which happens to be one of the best. Now keep in mind, this is going to be a gunfighter build, meaning we're not using 5 attachments, we are using 8, and that's gonna apply for some of the other ARs as well. It just makes them that much better. So starting off, you need an optic. I think for the most part, all my AR setups I have for you today, I am using the Kepler Microflex. I'll explain it once so you don't hear me repeating myself. This is my personal favorite optic. The iron sights in this game are just not that good across the board of honestly any category. So throw whatever optic you personally feel the most comfortable with. For me personally, it's the Kepler Microflex. It's just your classic red dot. You can see so well out of it. For our muzzle, we have the compensator, which greatly increases our vertical recoil control, helping us land more of our shots, just be super precise. The more accurate, the better, and the faster you're going to be dropping enemies. For the barrel, I have on the long barrel, which grants me a massive increase in damage range, so I could kill enemies significantly faster at those longer range engagements. I then have on an underbarrel, and I like the vertical foregrip. With our muzzle, we got vertical recoil control. With the vertical, we get horizontal. So you get best of both worlds. At this point, it is genuinely a laser beam. It doesn't move whatsoever, and we're going to further that a little bit later. Next, for the magazine count, it's honestly up to you. I prefer the 45 round. I think this is more than enough because the XM4 is strong. You don't lose anything whatsoever. If you want to do it, you can and run the extended mag 2, which gives you a 60 round magazine. But keep in mind, your reload's going to be significantly slower. You lose on sprint to fire, aim down sight. Again, up to you. I prefer the 45. For my rear grip, I actually recently changed it to the ergonomic grip, and I'm always sliding into gunfights. So with that slide to fire, that really helps me out so much. Dive to fire, not so much because I don't dive at all in this game. And then I also get an increase in aim down sight speed, so I can be a little bit more quick and snappy. When it comes to my gunfights, I can land the first shot, and usually I'll end up winning it. Next, we have a stock. I ain't gonna lie, this buffer weight stock is super broken. So you get vertical and horizontal recoil control, which we already got from the underbarrel and the muzzle, and then you add this, I'm telling you, the thing does not move after that. And then my eighth and final attachment, I went ahead and I did recoil springs. Just why not? If we're gonna go for a 0 recoil build, let's just full send it. Throw on the recoil springs, and there is the entire build on your screen. Take your screenshots if you'd like. Let me bring it to the firing range, bro. Doesn't move, doesn't move, doesn't move. And even down here, we're not even gonna... That's me being inaccurate, but you could definitely laser down there for sure. Dude, I'm telling you, there's no other way to build an XM4 than this. For our second class setup, we have the AK-74, which happens to be one of the strongest ARs in Black Ops 6. So once again, we have the Kepler Microflex. I explained it with the XM4. It's just my personal favorite optic in the game. For the muzzle, just like we had on the XM4, you're gonna wanna do the compensator. Now with the AK-74, it definitely has a lot more bounce and recoil to it compared to the XM4. So you're definitely gonna need this compensator for that increase in vertical recoil control. For the barrel, I actually do it reinforced for this, where I get both damage range and bullet velocity. I feel like the AK-74 lacks bullet velocity, so I throw this on so I can not lose out on damage range, so I can just get both. And this is honestly really helpful at those longer range engagements. For the underbarrel, just like we had under XM4, we have the vertical foregrip, which gives me horizontal recoil control, which you can never go wrong with. So now we got best of both with the compensator and the vertical grip. For the magazine, again, it is personal preference. I prefer the 40. With how strong the AK-74 is, I don't think you need anything bigger than it, but if you feel like you do, go ahead and rock the 50. Again, it's gonna slow you down a little bit more. For my rear grip, I have on the ergonomic. Once again, you get aim down sight and that slide to fire. Again, this helps me so much in my gunfights. My weapon's just ready to go significantly faster when I'm engaging, and that's super important in this game because if you're not shooting first, you're most likely gonna be dead first. And then for the stock, I went ahead and I did the combat stock for this, and this greatly reduces the flinch resistance. So when an enemy's shooting back at me, my weapon stays be steady on them. It doesn't go flying in the air. I don't like lose control over anything. This is super important to have on if you want to win almost every single gunfight. And not only that, you get aim, walking, movement speed, so you can strafe a little bit better, making it harder for the enemies to land shots on you. Again, that flinch resistance is incredible on the AK-74, so I highly recommend throwing this combat stock on. It's the only weapon I use it for. And then my final attachment here is going to be recoil springs. Having on that underbarrel and that compensator is honestly just not enough for a weapon like this, so I recommend running the recoil springs, and you just get more horizontal and vertical recoil control. So there's the whole build. It's pretty similar to the XM4, but not quite the exact same, and you're gonna see it's gonna perform a little bit differently here. It's super accurate, just like the AK-74 was. It's not slow at all. It's pretty damn quick. You got the 8 attachments just like we had on the XM4. And yeah, I mean, seriously, Gunfighter is super broken on the ARs in this game. For our third weapon, we have what I believe to be the best assault rifle in the entire game, the Krig C. If you aren't aware, they actually recently banned this from ranked play because of how broken it is. So this setup, you only need 5 attachments. If you do Gunfighter, it's honestly overkill. You do not need it. Again, Kepler Microflex, just gonna get out of the way. Throw that bad boy on. We're actually skipping over the muzzle for this. You don't need a muzzle. For my barrel, I like to run reinforced. Once again, you just get best of both worlds. Damage range here, bullet velocity there, throw them together. Any gunfight you get yourself into with this weapon with the reinforced barrel, you're gonna win pretty much automatically. The weapon's already a laser beam. You just gotta make it a little bit stronger by throwing this on. You're good to go. For the underbarrel, I like to do the Ranger foregrip. It's something different that I don't normally run, but on the Krig C, it works really well. Horizontal recoil control, which is great, and you get sprinting movement speed, which is a little bit of a change. So you get some accuracy and mobility, which is a pretty deadly combination if you ask me. So throw on that Ranger foregrip, give it a try and let what you guys think about it. For the magazine, it's up to you if you even want to throw a magazine on. There's some times where I don't even run a magazine, but I know how a 30-round mag could be. It really isn't enough in most cases, so I like to run the 45. Honestly, I don't see a world where you need a 70, a double drum. I just don't see it. So just do the 45. Again, it's the best AR in the entire game. You shouldn't need any more than this. And then my fifth and final attachment is going to be the ergonomic grip once again. I think this is so important to have on. If you feel like you're losing gunfights or your weapons are too slow when you're getting into gunfights, it's because you're not using this. Again, that slide to fire and that aim down slide, it genuinely helps me out so much in all of my gunfights, and I think it'll help you guys out too. So here's the build that I recommend using. I change it a lot. I'm gonna be honest. There's some times where I'll take off the magazine and I'll do a compensator here. I'll even do a suppressor. Try out something different, or you can even do a balance stock. There's so many different ways to build it, but for now, try this build out right here that you guys see on screen. I think this is gonna be perfect for most people, and then you can bring this to the firing range. Again, it really is just the best AR in the entire game. The thing was literally banned from ranked play, and you could clearly see why. Even the guy at 100 meters, man, like it's not even built for that. This is war zone range that we're doing with ease. Again, Krig C, dude, best AR in the game. If you don't agree, tell me down below what you think the best one is. For the fourth loadout, we have what was my personal favorite weapon in all of Black Ops 6 for the longest time. And honestly, it's still up there. The Model L. This is honestly like another Krig C pretty much. And this is also a gunfighter build. So we're gonna be doing 8 attachments. Again, we got the Kepler Microflex there. With how accurate the Model L is, I personally don't believe you need the compensator. Again, it's a laser beam. So I like to do the suppressor so I'm stealthy and enemies don't know where I'm at. For the barrel, again, we got reinforced. And what's different about this is you get a little bit more bullet velocity than you get out of the reinforced barrel on other ARs, which is really, really dope. Again, having that bullet velocity and damage range is such a game changer. It just makes this significantly better in longer range engagements. Underbarrel, we have the vertical foregrip for horizontal recoil control. Again, the combination of having the compensator and the underbarrel vertical foregrip is so great. Obviously, we don't have the compensator on here, but you don't even need it. Imagine how good that this is with just the vertical grip. Magazine count, feel free, do the extended mag 1. I think 40 is enough. Again, 50, it's cool. I just hate losing out on the aim down sight and sprint to fire. It's not my thing. If you want to do it, go right ahead, but I like to do extended mag. For the rear grip, once again, ergonomic. I sound like a broken record. We're just gonna throw the thing on and move on. For the stock, I have on the balanced stock. What I like about this is just the overall mobility boost I get. Movement, strafing movement, aim walking movement. Again, you can strafe super fast. It makes it super challenging for the enemies to land shots on you, which I love a lot. And with the Model L, it being a laser beam, just super easy to use, and then you're making it harder for the enemies to land shots on you. This is what makes it so good in most cases and on most maps. And then my final attachment here might shock some of you. I like to do the over pressure rounds, which gives me even more bullet velocity. I don't know what it is. I feel like this lacks bullet velocity. You throw this on, dog, it's hit scan. It's literally hit scan on any given map in multiplayer. So there's the entire build. Again, I think gunfighter on the ARs, it's really impossible to lose gunfights when you have gunfighter on. So there's the build. We can bring it to the firing range. And again, it's one of those, like, look at the strafing speed. It's significantly better. The shooting move speed too is, yeah, you can see me just, again, this is, if someone said, Frizz, go drop a nuke, I'd probably either take this out or the Krig C. That's how much I could like stand by this model out. And the fifth and final assault rifle I'd like to put in here may surprise you. We got the GPR, which is like kind of been growing on me as of recent. So we got the Kuiper Microflex like normal. We have the compensator, which actually grants you more vertical recoil control than it does on other ARs, which is great. This is up there with the Model L and Krig C in terms of accuracy, which is nice. So it's pretty easy to use if you haven't used it recently. I think this is one of the like best kept like AR secrets, man. I'm telling you, it's so much better than people say it is. I like to do the reinforced barrel here for bullet velocity and damage range. It honestly just needs both, to be frank. I mean, long barrel's great, the gain twist is great, but what's greater is having both. So that's why I like to do the reinforced magazine count. So I've been saying, yeah, you could do the bigger mag if you want. Yeah, we're gonna do that in this case. I don't know what it is. I'm not sure if it's what is it, the fire rate? I feel like I burned through ammo on this thing 24/7. So I have to do the 6-round magazine. It is what it is. I'm able to take out a lot more enemies without having to load, which is nice. And then my fifth and final attachment, ergonomic. There's not much to explain here. Again, a lot of the same attachments as you've seen on the other ARs here, but it's a simple 5 attachment build. There's nothing too crazy to say about it. And again, in the firing range, it does its thing. When we did our hand cam video, this is the weapon I was using with the exact same loadout. I don't know, man. This thing's just been something that's been on my radar. It's been fun to use. It's something I don't normally use. It feels like snappy, it's accurate. I don't know. I want to compare it to the MCW from last year, but I might seem kind of wild for doing that. It definitely feels like it. But yeah, there's your 5 best loadouts. And now for the rest of the loadout, I mean, I'm just gonna show you. I'm just gonna keep it blunt. I'm scrolling down. These are like my other, like the perks and everything. It's been changing, man. I'm going through a weird phase. I'm like finding new stuff I really like in this game. So for instance, for one of these gunfighter builds here, the stim shot always remains the same on all these setups. You could just instantly regenerate health. The blast traps stay the same as well. These are super broken. It's like guarantee kills. Really, really good. The scrambler is a personal radar that I've been using, which is nice. And then in terms of perks, you want to have on scavenger. I love gung ho, so it's either one of the two. Got to have one of those. And this setup, I should have scavenger on because I don't have any ammo to replenish. And when I'm doing a gunfighter build, for perk 2, I took off dispatcher. I like to do shadow. I still like to run dispatcher. I'm running assassin so I can have 3 red perks. I feel like I need double time on my setup so I can just feel a little bit lighter on my feet. And then I get the enforcer perk where I get a temporary buff to movement speed and health regen, which is nice. And then on like the Krig C here, where we can run like perk greed, I like to do my gung ho and scavenger. Perk 2, I like to do shadow, so I'm undetectable to the enemy traps and mines. And then obviously we have double time here, and I still get enforcer. So I've been changing things up. The secondary though always remains the same. If you're interested in that, there's the Grokova with the 5 attachments. Best secondary game in my personal opinion. I like it over the Siren. But that's gonna wrap today's video, man. I hope you guys enjoyed. These help you out. Again, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and all that type of good stuff. But other than that, I'll see you on the next one. You guys all stay safe. Have a great day, and I'm out. Doses.